The vibrance of Hong Kong sways to the beat of the city, and the party is always where the music is at. From local bars and pubs to restaurants and nightclubs, Hong Kong has plenty of venues for a good time. But when it comes to live music, there seems to be a spot that holds more clout than others. This week on DV, we're checking out the live music scene in Hong Kong. Hey Lena, so what's happening in Wan Chai?
When I first came to Hong Kong a few years ago, music was everywhere, from people street busking to people singing live and dancing at the pier and night market. I would say that music makes up a very vibrant energy in Hong Kong. Although the pandemic has affected the live music scene in recent years, there are still a lot of people passionate about it. Today, let's talk about some people keeping the rhythm alive.
The district is full of entertainment, and live music has defined Wan Chai through the years. A hotspot for tourists and locals alike, these establishments play a crucial role for the music culture in Hong Kong. How? Let's check in with Lena.
So John, tell me about yourself.
Well, came to Hong Kong from Houston, Texas. I originally was working for an electronics firm called Smith & Associates. I was their managing director for all of Asia for many years.
Oh, okay.
But I've also been involved in music from the time I was 13, so...
At a very young age.
Yeah, I took my dad's car keys and drove to my first audition, didn't tell the truth about my age, and got the gig, so...
Wow.
And my father was a musician as well, so...
Oh, sounds like you're really passionate about music.
Yeah.
And I see that this is a musical venue of sorts as well?
That's correct. The original venue was opened back in October 20th, 1987. We took over in 2010, my partners and I. And we were at the point where we were running 70 different acts through the venue every month.
Every month. Wow, that's
So-
like 2 acts a night.
Yeah, plus different happy hour acoustic performers as well. So
Okay.
we're all about the music and about the live music scene.
Right.
And showing the people of Hong Kong that there's a lot of talented musicians here. And so our music varies everything from blues, rock, heavy metal, original covers, acoustic, folk.
That's quite
You
the
name it.
variety.
We've had quite a few different international artists come through over the years. We've had everybody from Combat 77 from Germany to Mutant Monster from Japan. And we've had a lot of other international artists as well from Australia, Canada. And it's nice because it gives the music lovers here a little bit of a different variety.
Right.
And it gives them a chance to hear music from outside of Hong Kong.
People who perform here, do they have to be like very well known to come perform? Like, do they have to be attached to labels, or independent people can come too?
Oh, anybody. I mean, we book all bands. I mean, you don't have to have a label. You don't have to be a super well-known artist. We have Monday night jam nights where everybody's welcome to come up and do a 20-minute performance. Or
Everybody gets a chance.
That's it. We've always kind of played by the rule is there are no rules. You never know how talented somebody is until they're able to be seen. There's lots of very talented people in this city, and we want to have a venue that gives them the chance to show their talent.
You've seen a lot of musical acts come by, so you must have some really interesting stories.
We had a band from Japan, from Osaka, come through, and it was after the tsunami in Japan. And they had written this song to say thank you to the world for the care, the contributions, and everything. And the guys in the band spoke about that much English and no Cantonese, but they got their message across. And they started the song, and it was a very slow song. And the next thing you knew, the band members sat down on the stage. Everybody started sitting on the floor in the venue and taking their cell phones, their cigarette lighters, what have you. And it was just really touching. And the guys in the band were really touched. I mean, you could hear the lead vocalist's voice like crack a couple times from emotion. And it was just one of those moments, and it was incredible. And after their set, nobody left. Wanted to buy them drinks all night. It was very memorable. the language sometimes,
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Because the message still conveys through the music.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's why I'm so looking forward to when live performances can come back to Hong Kong. I really feel you're gonna see the entire emotions and the heart of Hong Kong just raise up because everybody is just so looking forward to being able to go to a play, to go to see the orchestra, to go to their favorite venue and see a live band.
What do you hope to see in the music scene when everything is back? Just the vibrancy and energy back, everyone happy again?
Yeah, exactly. And I really feel you're going to see that because every time it gets close to when they talk about the latest restrictions, you start hearing it on the street from people. Do you think music's going to come back this week? And even that builds up a bit of excitement within the music community.
Hi Joe, so can you tell us about yourself?
Well, I'm a big music lover, and I'm obsessed with live music. I myself play in a band as well, with several bands. So for me, coming here, I'm a regular customer, and also I'm a performer as well. So I like the place a lot.
Why do you like to come to this music venue versus other music venues all over Hong Kong?
Well, I like the place because of its atmosphere. You can walk comfortably and relax into the place. It's very friendly, unpretentious. The staff and the people, all good. So you walk into the place and you can relax yourself. And it's a great way to spend an evening. And also for the local bands, from their perspective, the place provides a very important platform for them to express themselves, to play a bit of the music and to reach out to the audiences. So I think for the bands this is important. I myself, with my several bands, we have played here consistently for more than 10 years.
Oh, okay.
I would imagine most of the local bands here would, at some stage during their musical journeys, they would have performed here more or less.
Okay. And why do you specifically like performing here?
Well, first of all, the people are music lovers. They will appreciate your music, whichever you want to bring to them. The vibes as well, the atmosphere, very engaging. And I mean, both as a performer and as an audience, it's like an interactive experience. Because for live music, it carries a lot of energy in it and directness as well. So for the audience, it's just fantastic experience. When I'm watching the show of the person in charge here, John, he also has several bands. One of his bands is the most popular. It's called Don't Panic, and they are really a very high-quality rock group. And on the stage, he's a star. And the people like him, and he's also the main person responsible for running the place. He's got wide musical taste, and he brings in a good variety of different styles of music as well. So there are no limits or boundaries as to the styles or nationalities of the bands over here. But the man put his heart into it. And one important thing is how he treated the musicians. He treated them nicely with a lot of respect, just as the musicians respect him.
Yeah.
And I think this is a key factor of why he's been so successful in maintaining a long-standing relationship with
the
all
whole
bands.
musician community, right?
Yeah, so overall, I think the people here, the bands, and the community, they all appreciate what John has done for the music scene in Hong Kong. He's very dedicated and passionate.
It's the human touch.
Yes.
So I also have to ask, you've been a patron here for over 10 years. You've also performed. What
Yeah.
are some memorable stories you can share with us?
For me as a performer, well, the most memorable part maybe when my band performed the Beatles songs, Hey Jude, and also the other time we were performing a song from the Abbey Road album. It's called Golden Slumbers. And people were singing along. And that sort of experience is just magical for me.
Welcome back. We're still in the heart of Wan Chai exploring the true value of live music entertainment in the city, and we're stoked to hear more about the evolution of the local music scene. Who are we talking to next, Lena?
Hi, Stuart. So can you tell us about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I've been living in Hong Kong about 20 years or so.
20 years,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. And playing music is at least taken up at least 15 of those, I think, playing in different venues around Hong Kong. Play bass, currently playing with a band called The Sleeves. We've been around for many years. And also spend some time as a DJ, radio DJ with, places around Hong Kong.
Wow, so you play bass, you do DJing, music is in every sense of the word your life, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big part of my life for sure. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So what kind of venue do you look for when you go to perform?
I'm not that fussy. The important thing is you just get a place to play. The venue itself is not that important. It's just
really?
that if you're doing something with a group of people that you want to spend time with, and you've got an audience there, even if it's one person or 1,000 people, it's just an outlet for the music that you like to play.
Okay, so it's not like you specifically look for a certain ambiance, a certain crowd that you like to perform to?
No, I like the variety. I don't like having the same setup every time. It's nice to turn up in a new place or see a new bunch of faces in the audience.
Right.
It keeps everything alive and it keeps moving, as it were.
What is the music scene like for you? Is it always busy? Is it sometimes slow?
Yeah, I mean, it depends where you're playing. It depends what night of the week you're playing. It depends on what else is on that night, whatever the competition is. You might be playing to 2 people and a dog. You might be playing to a couple of thousand people. I think for me, I try to not think about who's watching. More concentrate on enjoying myself while I'm playing. Because the audience can come and go, but what you do stays. So I think it's, I don't focus on where you are or who you're playing to. It's focusing on playing what you like to do with people you like to play with. That's more important to me.
It's very clear that you're very passionate. Can you tell me about the life of a musician here in Hong Kong? Is it difficult lately, or?
Well, personally speaking, this is not what I do for a living. This is just a passion. But for people I know that do for a living, it is a small community. Everybody knows each other. So it is, the most important thing is making sure that you keep close with those people, that you don't alienate people. I don't think the scene has any room for kind of princess syndrome or people acting too starry-eyed.
Diva.
Yeah, because it is small and people, need to see that you're committed and that you are not a diva, exactly.
I would actually really like to hear about your experiences playing outside of Hong Kong and here. How do you compare it with them?
I've played in places like China, Cambodia, Taiwan, Korea.
Wow.
So I've seen a wide selection of kind of music venues. I think the big difference is that, when you play venues in Hong Kong, you can literally just turn up, plug in and play. That doesn't happen in a lot of places. You have to organize equipment, you have to you have to jump over a lot of hurdles to get the gig working. But Hong Kong seems to be, I don't know whether it's just because I'm from here, I've been here a long time, but it's just that you can just turn up in most of the venues in Hong Kong, bring your instrument, plug in and play.
Oh, so it's a lot more spontaneous here.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no bureaucracy to deal with. You can just, and also there's no low bar. It doesn't matter your skill level.
Oh, okay.
No one cares. You can just play. That's the most important thing. Whereas sometimes overseas, there's a certain expectation.
Standard of...
Yeah, and you have to deal with various people in the country, and there's a certain, I can't say jealousy, there's a certain rivalry. Like if you turn up in another country, people think, oh, who are these guys from Hong Kong? Who do they think they are? But people coming to Hong Kong, they don't feel that.
Right.
They feel welcome straight away. There's a big difference.
That's interesting to
Yeah.
know. Hi, Adrian. Can you tell us about yourself?
Well, I'm a musician, first and foremost. I am a songwriter. I'm, I guess, a producer of sorts. Used to be a recording artist based in Hong Kong. And yeah, I'm also, I've got a day job in marketing as well.
Whoa, that's a lot to say in one mouthful. You're just like everything, and then marketing as well.
Yeah, well, you kind of need a day job to be doing some music in Hong Kong.
So
these
that's
days,
your
I think.
passion, I'm guessing. So you have the
Yeah.
day job to support your passion, and it does sound like you're very passionate about it. How did you get into music?
I mean, all my life I've been playing music. I think when I was growing up, I played other people's music. And then I think starting from university onwards, I started creating my own stuff. And then just by chance, I got to know a couple of publishers, and yeah, so I started writing songs for artists here, and then I had a couple of opportunities to release my own stuff.
How important would you say being able to still play in a live venue is for someone who's already established?
I think it's critical because, you know, live venues like this, I always think about the fact that it's almost like a stand-up comedian. You know, like we're all used to watching these stand-up comedians do stadium shows on streaming platforms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't understand is that these guys have spent years actually, you know, revising their material, coming up with new stuff, and then they try it out in small bars, you know, comedy clubs, and then gradually to bigger venues and so forth. So I make that analogy to music as well. Every single band in Hong Kong that you know who is famous now, who's in the mainstream pop scene, every single band has gone through these venues. And it's a really good testing ground. This live music culture must continue. Otherwise, you know, we're not going to be able to allow these kids to continue, you know, developing their own artistry and their music.
You're a songwriter, and now you were indie, and now you're more mainstream.
Yeah.
How would you compare those two?
We're now in 2022. I think that whole definition of what an indie musician is and a mainstream musician is, I think that line is blurring. Before, indie meant underground stuff, so
Right.
like non-pop stuff. But now independent seems to be a really cool thing to be because of the internet, because of all these technologies that are out there on offer, you know, including blockchain and stuff like that. You're able to really look at yourself and develop your own career without, you know, record labels or dare I say even a manager. You know, as long as you're able to do good music, you have a place to sort of live performances, because let's face it, nobody really, you know, follows a pop star because their live streaming was great. Like, people fall in love with an artist or a band because they saw them in real life. So as long as all these things are together, I think independent musicians are the way and are the future. And you know, I would argue that, you know, I enjoy being an independent a lot more than maybe a signed mainstream artist these days.
Okay, that's interesting. Now, what do you see for the future of music in Hong Kong?
I think the future's good. I think, you know, we've got a whole new generation of kids who are a lot more used to this whole idea of producing and recording music because technology is so convenient.
Especially the
these days.
platform of social media, like
Yeah.
the word gets around.
Yeah, so everybody's a songwriter, everybody's a producer. So I think it's the, you know, getting them interested, a lot more people interested. I think that's a great thing. What I can't stress enough is the fact that we need these live venues open up as soon as possible, because it really is that testing ground. It really is that sort of, I see it as a rites of passage for every artist, for every band to come here, perform to a small crowd, get used to that whole sort of interaction, live interaction with your audience, learning from it, and then refining the material as a result. And if you have these two together, I think Hong Kong music will be very, very good.
So Neil, can you tell me about yourself?
Yeah, well, I'm the general manager here. I've been in Hong Kong for many years, working in the hospitality industry.
Okay.
And I came aboard with these guys. From when they opened the new ranch, their background was more music scene rather than food and beverage. So I'm here to help them take that onto a different level, hopefully.
Right, so there's like this huge gap that they need to be filled, and you're the expert for that, yeah? So
I think so, yes.
So what kind of food do you think does especially well at a live music venue?
I think people are, after they've sat down and had the meal, when the music comes on, they're a little more inclined then to have just sort of snacks, quick food. Scotch eggs go down very well. Sausage rolls go down very well. Poutine as well, or chunky chips poutine, they're very, very popular as well.
So these are quite British style kind of
quite British. The
bar
menu's
food.
not whole British, but there's quite a lot of British influence on there. Of course, I'm British, so a lot of British influence on there as well. Yeah.
Oh, so you have put some of your own influence into the menu as well?
Of course, yeah. And then our head chef is a local Chinese guy, so he had a lot of influence as well. So I think
It's a
together,
fusion of a lot of things.
yeah, a lot of fusion together. I think it's doing okay. Yeah.
Are there any specific dishes that you're very proud of creating on the menu?
We have our own rotisserie oven here, so that's doing really well. That's a popular dish for lunchtime, right through sit-down dinner now. Each chicken takes around 90 minutes to cook. I think that's something which will continue to be popular when we have the live music as well, for sure. We can even use that for snacks, put it up different, gives us a lot of varieties to use, yeah.
And it's a standout item too. Not a lot of bars or live music menus have a whole rotisserie oven in their kitchen.
Not many at all, to be honest. Most of the bars who have live music, they focus on snacks, just quick food in and out.
Yeah.
We're slightly different. You know, we have the full restaurant menu, full sit-down menu, so it gives us a lot more options and, yeah, hopefully a better experience for everybody, I hope. Yeah.
When a customer walks into here, what kind of experience do you want to bring to them?
It starts from when they come in. Obviously, the service needs to be very important. The lighting needs to be important. I think the atmosphere a little bit quieter initially, early on when they're having dinner, and then as the night progresses, the music will come on. We can move a few tables away. The whole atmosphere will change into sort of a lot more less of a dinner service, into more of a party scene when the live music comes on there. Hopefully, they'll leave having the whole complete entertainment experience.
In Hong Kong, there is legacy and then there's progeny. Today I learned that to get somewhere, you have to start somewhere. Now, the live music scene in Hong Kong has taken a beating, but you know, there's a rich history that was built from the ground up, and there's a lot of people's livelihoods that were intertwined, that it would be so sad to see this all just go to waste because of the pandemic. And that's why I think it's so important to support art and culture in the form of live music in Hong Kong. Let's rock on!